In last months of winter of 1801, a man is called Liquid who rents a house on farm called Transgrove, an isolated countryside in England, where Liquid met a cruel landlord, Heathcliff. Heathcliff is a wealthy man who lives in an antique palace in Wuthering Heights, far away from the farm around 4 miles. In this cold, stormy country, where Liquid asks a housekeeper, Nurse Nellie Dunn, telling him Heathcliff's story and strange people who lives with in Wuthering Heights. Nellie remembers her childhood when she was working as a servant for owner of palace, Mayor Earnshaw and his family. Once upon a time, Mayor Earnshaw went away to Liverpool, and he came back home with an orphan called Heathcliff to adopt him with his children. At the beginning, his both children, a girl called Catherine and a boy called Hundley, detested Heathcliff who's a dark-skinned, but soon Catherine loves him, and soon they became the both persons never ever separate, whether spending interesting time and playing together in marshes. After his wife's death, he'd rather Heathcliff on his son, so Mayor Earnshaw sent his son Handley to study away when he overestimated in his harsh deal with Heathcliff. After 3 years, Mayor Earnshaw passed away, so Handley inherited Wuthering Heights, and he went back with his wife Frances to the countryside and immediately started to revenge from Heathcliff. A bowman, Heathcliff, became a servant, forcibly works in fields after he was spoiled son. However, the relationship between him and Catherine closely continued. One night, when they were wandering in Transgrove's farm, in order to harass both brothers, Edgar and Isabella Linton who lived there, Catherine got bitten by a dog and forced to stay on the farm for treatment for 5 weeks. During that period, Burrs Linton worked on her to be a young, respectable lady. By the time Catherine returned to Wuthering Heights, she became fascinated with Edgar, while her relationship with Heathcliff became more complicated. When Handley's wife died during her childbirth, Harriton, Handley resorted to alcohol and became alcoholic. The thing leads him to act with Heathcliff too harshly. Catherine has approved on the marriage from Edgar, despite her extensively love to Heathcliff, that because of her desire to increase her social level. Heathcliff escaped afar for 3 years to return after a few period of Catherine's wedding. He returned to Wuthering Heights after he achieved a huge and mysterious wealth. He immediately started to revenge from all people who went there with him freely. He started to lend Drake Handley money to increase of his financial issues and to be insulted. Heathcliff inherited the palace after Handley's death. To inherit the farm, he married Isabella Linton, who considers Edgar's sister. But Heathcliff went too far and was treating her harsh. Catherine got sick and gave birth a pretty girl, then died. Arrogant Heathcliff got weak man, implores to Catherine's soul in order to stay on the earth, and says he didn't mind to take any shape, even if it haunted him and made him mad, as long as it didn't leave him alone. After a few times, the weak and oppressed woman Isabella escaped to London, gave birth a boy named Linton as her family's name, and grew him up alone there. After 13 years, Nellie works as a nurse for a young Catherine who was Catherine's daughter. The young Catherine grew up in Transgrove's farm, and she didn't know anything about Wuthering Heights. One day, while she was wandering in the marshes, she found out the palace, met Hareton, and played with around. Catherine met Heathcliff in the swamps. Then she visited Wuthering Heights for meeting Linton. Both started a secret love by exchanging letters. When Nellie ruined a set of Catherine's letters, the girl started to sneak out at the night in order to spend few times with him after he asked her to beg and to care him until he recovers. After that, understood that Linton was going after he upon his father's request, who forced him to do that. Heathcliff doesn't get enough to revenge of the mother, Catherine, whereas he kept going to also revenge from young Catherine and her father Edgar. When Edgar got sick, in rage of death, Heathcliff lured Nellie and Catherine to Wuthering Heights, then he detained them in the palace. After Edgar's death, Catherine and Linton have married. Heathcliff became stronger, where he could control them both, Wuthering Heights and Transgrove's farm. He forced Catherine on working as a servant. Mayor Lickwood got spook of what he heard from Nellie, so he has ended the contract between him and Heathcliff and returned to London. Catherine married his uncle's son, Hareton. Then Heathcliff became more obsessed with Catherine's memory, so much so that became speaking to her ghost. At the end, Heathcliff died on Catherine's grave. As for Hareton, he has inherited Wuthering Heights and Transgrove's farm.